Joining us right now on the Rich Eisen Show on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line is a friend of ours, not just because of his terrific help with Run Rich Run every single year, as he did this year as well at the Rose Bowl from Fox Sports, but now he's joined the Levels Sports Group as a partner and head of athlete development. Michael Vick expanding his brand back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing great, Rich. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Before we get to what's going on in your life, let's talk about some of these NFL headlines going on right now. I'm keen to get your 2 cents on this subject. You might not be aware, but Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy said, what, Chris, that there's going to be more runs in the game plan for Dak Prescott now that he's feeling spry and healthy? Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. More quarterback runs and quarterback movement plays this season.
What do you think of that, Michael? What do you think of that?
I think that's awesome.
Okay.
You can go back and look at a lot of my clips from last year on FS1. We were ever talking about the Dallas Cowboys, I've always been an advocate for Dak just pulling it down, running more, just using his mobility and being more of a dual threat. I think it'll help the Cowboys in so many ways. Take a lot of pressure off him in his game as well.
Well, the pressure I think they should be, or I guess the pressure valve that they should turn is Tony Pollard. But I think that's kind of a third-rail subject matter because then you're asking, what about Zeke? I think there's enough possessions, and I think there's enough footballs to go around for both of them. Michael?
Yeah, well, I think at this point in time, Dak has been the quarterback for the last 5 years. Zeke has been there for 4 or 5 years. And you got all these new guys coming in and all these moving parts and good players. But, it's like the Golden State Warriors right now. It's all about winning. No matter how it gets done,
right.
Just go out and find a way to win the game. And I think that's what it's coming down to for the Dallas Cowboys. And, yes, Tony Pollard is a lightning rod. And I love the 1-2 punch, but find different ways to use them and use them, sometimes as a decoy to free up other guys. And when Pollard's in the game, he's probably going to get the ball 9 times out of 10. So I just think it's up to them to, just revamp the offense and use Dak's mobility to kind of gauge everything else.
Well, I guess it's good news that he feels, healthy and spry enough to do it. I'm just concerned about putting him out there. Quarterback movement plays, I'm all for, but actual call-in plays like he's Lamar to have him run or Josh Allen, I'm not into that idea at all, Yeah,
there's such thing as reverse psychology too, Rich. Like, he could be saying that just to, make the first 4 teams that they face during the season be a little leery of what Dak might be trying to do or what you might see it a little bit in preseason. You might see some in game 1, but it's a great strategy and definitely good gamesmanship by the coaches right now.
All that said, I gotta have you choose an NFC team to make the Super Bowl this year. Which one is it right now?
Oh, man, that's a tough question there early June, Rich. But, I will talk about, some of the contenders. I definitely think Tom's coming back for a reason, and I think what they're doing right now in terms of, just management, leadership, it's something going on over there that between Tom and Byron, and I think it's going to be special. Aaron returning to Green Bay, he lost Devontae Adams. It gets Sammy Watkins, so we'll see how that unfolds. And you're going to see the Rams. You got Aaron Donald signed back. I think that's a plus. And then the San Francisco 49ers, I like them with Jimmy at the helm, and I like the guys that's being put in place. And, as long as they get the ball in the hands of Deebo Samuel, I think they'll be all right. So those are 4 competitive teams that I think will be definitely playing in the finals.
Michael,
at the NFC and the Super Bowl.
Michael Vick here on the Rich Eisen Show. So what advice would you give to Lamar Jackson right now? He showed up to mandatory minicamp, but the Ravens are trying to pay him apparently, and he's not signing on the dotted line. Obviously, he's incredibly talented, but he's going into a year where he's got his best pass catcher as his tight end, or at least his most decorated one is his tight end, and this is potentially a money year for him. What advice would you give him, Michael Vick? Or do you give him?
Hopefully, be talking to Lamar soon, and I know Lamar. He's a smart man. He's a professional, and he has a team around him that's guiding him and giving him the right advice. So I think for Lamar, it's all about focusing on the field. Nothing's going to happen if you don't perform. And, I think Lamar's, might be putting himself in a situation where he's betting on himself, or he might want to start the talks and come training camp. He might be super focused right now. So I think we just let Lamar do Lamar and be himself and not put pressure on himself to take any amount of money or, try to put himself in a position where he take less money, take more money, focus on winning, and that takes care of everything in all the sports. So I'm anxious to see what happens, but I'm also anxious to see him bounce back from last year.
And what do you make of Tyreek Hill's statement that that Tua's more accurate than Mahomes? What'd you make about that one?
That's so funny to me. It's so funny. Now, I know Tua's an accurate quarterback, and I take nothing away from him, but it's a lot that needs to be proven on the field. And I don't think, Tyreek played with Patrick, and he's obviously caught some passes from Tua. So you know what he's saying. He know what he's dealing with. It might be a softer ball. It might be something he might like about what Tua's doing. But what Tyreek can't get misconstrued is the fact that Patrick know how to throw people open. And sometimes receivers might not understand why we might offset the ball or put it in a certain spot until you go back and watch the film. And it's been a lot of passes that I felt like Patrick put in a great spot that only Tyreek can get to because he's not the biggest guy. He obviously is athletic and he can jump, but don't question your quarterback's accuracy when he's throwing you open. And, if he go talk to Tua about what throwing you open really means, or, if he had that conversation with Patrick, or if he hears this conversation I'm having now, he knows what throwing them open means. And even just watching the highlights yesterday as it was circulating through our talk shows, I just seen that in a lot of those instances, he was throwing them open and putting the ball where only Tyreek could get it. That's accuracy too. So, and it helps our completion percentage. So, Tyreek is in a good situation right now. Definitely great financial situation. I think right now it's just best for him to just enjoy being in Miami and try to make that team better. And he got a new offensive, new head coach who, you look at what they did in San Francisco with Debo, and that's probably what he's going to be doing with Tyreek. So he'll touch the ball more, but, hey, man, just be proud of what he accomplished in Kansas City.
Well, I mean, should I be concerned, Michael Vick here on the Rich Eisen Show? You tell me, should I be concerned hearing, and by the way, heck of a splash of a first podcast for Tyreek Hill. Should I be concerned to hear that he's texting Drew Rosenhaus about his situation, which he kept in-house. I mean, this did not become public last year, but now that he's gone and somewhere else, that he's texting after a huge game one, but game two wasn't filled on the stat sheet and he didn't get a lot of targets, complaining. Should I be concerned that if he's doing that in Kansas City with Mahomes and Reed and everything else, that he's in a new spot that he's paid with a quarterback who I think the world of, but there's, Mahomes is a unicorn. Should I be concerned about that if Tyreek was having complaints about that in Kansas City and now here he is, a paid, full-pocketed guy in Miami with a new system, new quarterback?
Well, it just seems to me that Tyreek just wants the ball in his hands, and obviously, if you look at the way Andy used him, he handed it off to him out the backfield. He swung it to him out the backfield. And I think he just want to touch it in any way he can. And sometimes when you're a fierce competitor and you know the guys across from you really can't hold you or can't stop you, it can turn into frustration. And I've seen a lot of the receivers go through that because they just want to touch the ball and they know exactly what they can do. But you got to remember, you got other guys that's running routes and trying to get open and, busting it to get to be successful in their own right. So, ball distribution is the real thing. And as you get older, you need to definitely monitor how much you touch the ball because longevity becomes a key. And, Tyreek is not getting any younger. He's getting older. So, just be careful what you wish for and just watch your workload.
One last one for you on this. Are you like Tua as well? Throw it left-handed, but do everything else right-handed? Is that you too?
I'm the exact opposite. The only thing I do with my right hand is right. Everything else in life I do with my left hand.
Okay.
He's left-handed. All sports left-handed. Anything I'm grabbing with my left. Yeah. So, that's kind of weird. That's different.
So pencil or pen, though, you're grabbing with your right. So
I'm grabbing with the right all day. Yeah.
So how many reps will it take, do you think, for Tyreek to get used to a ball being thrown with a left-handed quarterback? That is significant. I mean, there's no question about that.
It won't take long, about a week, and just to toot the horn of the left-handers. It's a beautiful pass when it comes out. Tua's ball is very soft. It's not like mine, and I was throwing it, and it had a lot of velocity behind it. So it would take Deshaun and anybody I would work with, Antonio Brown or Rodney White. It would take those guys like maybe a week to get adjusted. But they all, they complained about it early. It was just different to them. But when you throw a softer ball like Tua throws, it's a lot easier to catch.
Michael Vick here on the Rich Eisen Show. Tell me about your new gig with Level Sports Group. What's going on with you, Michael?
Yeah, well, it's a great partnership to be a part of Levels. Just after doing extensive research and what they do and what they provide. It's what I've been doing for a long time with kids who come up through my camps over the years and through our camp series. In 2016, 17, and these kids are growing up now, and a lot of them are taking the next level, and they reaching out to me and seeking advice. And then I met some of the guys over at Levels, and we was able to merge it all together to make it make sense for the future. So just trying to help young kids in whatever way we can, especially going into college. Maximize their opportunities to make money, manage it, still stay hungry, still stay focused, and keep their eyes on the prize. So it's life-changing opportunities, but a lot of things take precedent. The financial literacy part of it, the mental wellness part of it, the mentorship aspect of it, and then also the NIL, the business side of it. So just trying to build something that in the future it can be used correctly, and we can say we change a lot of kids' lives and help a lot of kids grow for all the right reasons.
Well, getting to know the NIL world a little bit better now, perhaps with Level Sports Group, Michael, how much do you think you could have made at Virginia Tech if there was a name, image, and likeness back in the day, Michael?
Yeah, well, I definitely think it would have been some dynamic numbers that could have, definitely been enough to, like I said, to keep me around in school. I wasn't the guy who wanted to leave early, but because of circumstances in my life, I felt like I was forced to leave early. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to enjoy that college experience. I felt like I was just growing into my own, growing into a man, and then just didn't want to make life super serious. But sometimes as a young man, you got to make adult decisions, and that was a decision I made at the time. But I would have boomed in the NIL space, and I know it would have been done the right way. So, man. The great thing about it is now these kids get an opportunity to not have that pressure on themselves, and now we get to pay it forward.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be that it's going to change. It's already changing, and it will change forever the landscape of college sports. I mean, you're already seeing some coaches can't handle it. Yeah. They can't grasp it.
And it's just an opportunity for everybody to be proactive and understand what's out there, who they're dealing with the kids, and, why they want to try to specifically make them a part of their program and their brand. And I think, you just look at it from that standpoint. And, of course, it's going to make it tougher, but it was already tough. Recruiting is it's tough as it is. So, now, some of these programs get to even the playing field, and, there's nothing wrong with that. It just evens out the competition amongst college football.
I love that I used the word. It would have been a dynamic number, right? It's dynamic.
Very dynamic.
Hold on a minute. Dynamic. That's 7 letters. Yeah, probably like the figures it would have been.
No doubt, north of $1 million. North of $1 million. I couldn't settle for no less than that. Really.
I imagine so. I mean, you're Michael Vick. So you always pay it forward with me with St. Jude. Now you're doing so with the Vick Family Dream Fund. Congratulations on launching your new foundation. What are you focusing on with the Dream Fund, Michael?
We focus on the youth. We focus on the youth and underprivileged, underserved communities, and want to continue to pay it forward to them. We know that's the next generation. Did a lot of work with the Boys and Girls Club and just renovations and want to do that in community centers. That's kind of my thing all across the world. And also, just in the prison reform space, helping out formerly incarcerated citizens to better their life and giving them an opportunity. So, dabbling in a lot of those projects and trying to see what's out there, what makes sense for the Big Family Dream Fund brand. And if anybody want to donate, you can go to bigfamilydreamfund.org, check out what we're doing, all the information, and become a part of what we're trying to do in terms of make changes in the community all across the world. So super excited about that. Probably my greatest accomplishment, or me and my family's greatest accomplishment to this day. My wife is excited about it. Kids, we all look forward to just making an impact in our communities and underserved communities all across the U.S. for years to come.
Do you ever sit around and pause and reflect on what your life is now compared to what it was, Michael?
Yeah, I do a lot. And the thing is, Rich, there's been a lot of people there to, help me along the way, whether they gave me advice or, they was always using something as some form of example, and they was always trying to take that advice, use it correctly for the most part, and I just reflect back on it. So, I got 4 beautiful kids who, also look up to me as well, and I try to be an example for them and everybody else.
Michael, thanks for the time. You be well. Always let me know what's going on in your world, and if you're out here in L.A., have you here in studio. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. Talk soon.
As always, Michael Vick. Everybody check out the Vick Family Dream Fund. Congratulations to him on his new gig with Level Sports.